Taking a look here at how the Cleveland Cavaliers attack the Sixers drop coverage and the different adjustments both teams made throughout the game. So right off the bat, here's the most common combination where we have Garland throwing that lob. You can see Embiid kind of gets caught here. Doesn't really know which one to play. He's overplaying Garland a little bit. Easy read, lob to Allen. Here we go now. Tobias Harris is a little too aggressive. Embiid's helping way too far down. Don't even need to use this screen to get into the lob. Many different actions we can get into off of here. Jarrett Allen is just such a good roller in these types of actions. It allows for a lot of creativity. So here they get into it a little bit different, but it's the same action. I want to play this again. Watch how Strus sets a screen on Embiid as it comes through. So you can see they're setting it up down here. He sets a little fake flex screen to occupy his defender Batum, and then gets right into the screen that allows Garland to get the wide open layup. Many different actions. Cleveland was really killing the Sixers early with these types of actions. This one's a little bit more of a defensive lapse by the Sixers. You can see getting into this dribble handoff here, and they switch this, but Tobias is way too far away, especially for a good shooter like Strus, and then gets right into the handoff action. And because Strus is such a good shooter, him just looking at the rim pulls Embiid out. Easy dump off pass for a layup. All right, back to the Strus and Allen action. Same kind of thing. Just not able to step up on this play quite enough. Maxey trails on the screen. Embiid over helps a little bit. Allen dunk. Sixers really struggling to get it figured out up until this point. Back to the Strus and Allen action. You know, Embiid plays it a little bit differently that time. Allen just hits the mid-range. Here you see the Sixers first kind of attempted doing something a little bit different. Here Embiid's guarding Mobley instead. A little switch earlier got this mismatch that they didn't really like, but then they get right into the action. Jarrett on the roll. They don't play this very well at all. Nothing really happening here. Three players really committed to the roll between Melton playing off, Batum guarding the roll, and then Embiid really concerned about the roll. Forgets about Mobley. Leads to a good look from Mobley. So Sixers now trying a couple different things. That one didn't quite work. And then so now the Cavs start to counter a little bit. Here they go. This is off of a floorboard a little bit, but they go empty set on that side, so no help from the corner at all. Melton knows he's got to be concerned about the handoff ball screen action that's about to happen. Garland, good player, counters it with the backdoor. Ends with the follow-up. Embiid wants a basket interference, but doesn't get it. And so here going back, again, Sixers mixing it up a little bit. This is where they start to find a little bit of success. Batum is now on Allen, and Embiid is on Mobley, and so they want to bring Embiid back up to the action anyway, but they switch out of their drop coverage. So here Embiid's level with the screen, a little bit more of a flat hedge. Gets the dump off to Mobley. Turns into a turnover. This is not like a terrible play, but Mobley's just not as good a decision maker off of the roll as Allen is. So this is the Sixers starting to figure it out. And here we are again. Same kind of action. Embiid guarding Mobley. Into the drop coverage now that it's a side ball screen. Does a much better job. Allen is able to, he's probably not in the correct positioning here. He should probably be a little bit deeper in that dunker spot to give a little bit more room for Mobley to operate here. Garland ends up with the layup. Embiid follows up with a good block. Just good adjustments happening by the Sixers up until this point. Here, Garland rejects the ball screen. And you can see here's Pat Bev really makes a big difference here. He comes in and is +7 in the fourth quarter on a plus minus. And you can see they change. They're not dropping the coverage. Embiid stunts a little bit on the double. But the ball screen is far enough out because of Pat Bev's pressure to begin with. They force the ball screen far enough out so then they have the room to recover after the double and stunt. Embiid gets the block. Here we are again with Pat Bev guarding the ball. And he, really fights through the screen, which makes it very tough. They had a lot of success earlier. Strus had a good game here shooting the three, so they're concerned about that. But because Pat Bev, he just got screened, he's already right back into the play. Now Embiid can, it just clogs things up a little bit. Allows Embiid to play two a little bit more easily when Pat Bev's there providing pressure. And so here now we're going to see two clips that are contrasting a little bit. We see they ran a little handoff earlier to get this switch to have Melton on Garland instead of Pat Bev, who's been blowing things up a little bit. You can see under and then over. And then this right here. In contrast to what we just saw and what we're going to see on the next clip, you see Melton is so far behind here. Embiid is on an island with two. And really, chooses wrong. Garland's a good player. That's going to happen every time. So now look at that compared to this. Same exact kind of action. Even just this little bit where Pat Bev's fighting back in causes a little hesitation here. Embiid has the space here to play two. And then Bev gets back in, gets the block. Really, Pat Bev really caused a lot of issues for the Cavs in this action coming down the stretch. So here they get into it. They get into a little ghost screen. Sixers have once again mixed it up, going with Tobias guarding Allen. And you can see even having Allen, that's another evolvement here from the Cavs. Embiid on Mobley, they don't put him in the pick and roll action because Allen's just the better roll man. This is a really good read by Allen. You see in the earlier clip, Allen was clogging up the lane a little bit when they had both the bigs. Mobley's able to space a little bit more, causing Embiid to have to run over and help and leaving this wide open gap for Mobley to cut to the basket. Next we have similar action. Embiid in the drop again. But Beverly, again, following up, helping out. Able to get his hands in there. Beverly really made a difference in these actions specifically in the fourth quarter. And so here the Sixers get a little discombobulated, causing some issues. Beverly's playing way off. Has to step up on Strus. And then Allen, just elite roll man, able to hit that little floater in the middle. This is in overtime, and you can see because of how the Sixers played to finish regulation with Pat Beverly, the entire overtime Cleveland is trying to get to different actions with different people on the ball and trying to avoid the Beverly Embiid pick and roll matchup. And you can see they get to it here. They see Maxey and Tobias, and they're just able to pick it apart there. This will contrast with the next clip as well. You see that Melton comes over and makes a slight adjustment, which helps. They're running this away from Melton right now. And so Melton has the time to come over. Not a lot of teams will help off the corner, but the Sixers and Nick Nurse is kind of a thing they zag from the league a little bit, allowing this corner to be open. But Melton's able to step in there, and again, Mobley just not as good as Allen in those situations. So Sixers are all right with that. And you can see contrasting here, Melton's on the strong side. They mix it up. This is the very next possession. Same kind of two-man matchup, but because Melton isn't able to help because they're dribbling to the strong side here, Mobley has just a little bit more space that allows him to make the right play on this action. So again, Sixers, had one response to the action. Cavs kind of figure it out going on here. And then we're just going to get into a million different ways where, Garland, they're trying to get Pat Bev switched off of Garland to try and get into their classic matchup. And you can see it works real well for them. And Maxey anticipates a little bit too much on the screen, gets beat, and won. And so here we are again. And this is final play. Tried some actions earlier. Pat Bev, Sixers stay where they want this. This is the matchup the Sixers want. They've had success with it throughout the end of the fourth quarter. Pat Bev back in the play. De'Anthony Melton helping a little bit on the strong side. This is a tough shot. Sixers get everything they want, just don't follow up with the rebound. And you can see that's the same play. It's going to end up with a dump off to Allen, not the exact same play, but that's really where Cleveland wins this game. So lots of different advancements in how the Cavs get into that pick and roll, different people in the pick and roll to try and attack this drop defense. You saw the Sixers kind of adjust a little bit, find something that works with Pat Bev on the ball and Embiid on the roll man, and the Cavs just continue to elevate and make it more difficult for the Sixers to defend that as the game goes along. And it all comes down to that final play, and it just comes down to a defensive rebound. Really, really good, interesting matchup between these two teams.